Now, during the pandemic, we saw a shift from the city to the suburbs, with many making the move as a way to get more space. What will all this mean once the pandemic is over? That's a big question. Will people return to the city? Teresa Cordova is with the Great Cities Institute. She's been studying population shifts for years at UIC. She's joining us now with a look at an interesting population shift for Latinos. Hi, nice to see you.
Hello, Laura. It's very nice to see you too. It's an honor to be here.
You know, the last time I spoke with you, I think we were on the phone probably for about 40 minutes or so, and I found your discussion just so interesting on what you found within the Latino community, because we're used to seeing our neighborhoods, Little Village, Brighton Park, McKinley Park, you know, Pilsen, and I think sometimes we forget the great impact that Latinos have had on some of our surrounding suburban communities. So talk about that.
Well, that is very true. And you know, you mentioned the fact that there's been a lot of movement since COVID, but I think it's also important to remember that we've had a growth of Latinos in suburbs now for decades, and particularly in those suburbs, for example, with the industrial history, like Aurora and Elgin, Blue Island. Latinos have been there since prior to World War II. We did see a significant growth that began in the 1980s and then exploded in the 1990s. But since 2000, Latinos have accounted for most of the suburban growth in the entire region. And so we're predicting, and as is Chicago Metropolitan Agency, we're planning that by 2040, 30% of the region's population will be Latino. And so we are now in almost every single municipality, all but maybe 15 of the municipalities in the region, you will find Latinos. And while the entire, first of all, Latinos have increased about 136,000 people in the 14 county metropolitan region. So while we increased by 136,000, the population itself, the entire region's population, only increased by almost 74,000. In other words, when you look at that, were it not for Latinos, the entire region's population would decline.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think
it's an important point.
Yeah, no, one of the interesting numbers that you brought up, which I think oftentimes we don't think about, so Latinos make up 30% of the population just in Chicago, and what you're saying that in just the next 20 years, not only are they going to be maybe more than 30% in Chicago, but that is going to expand to all of the surrounding regions. And if you think about that, those are huge numbers, and I'm wondering how many of these suburban communities are making changes to their policy and their planning as they look ahead to what's to come.
Well, you know, and I think that increasingly they're going to need to, because Latinos, with their presence, they are consumers, they're taxpayers, and they bring a lot of cultural vibrancy. So, and let's say, for example, as consumers, when they fix up their homes, for example, they're going to be, they have a great deal of purchasing power. But the other thing to remember, I think, about the Latino presence, not only in the Chicago region, but even in Illinois as a whole, is how strong our small business sector is. Mm-hmm. We are really a large part of why the small business sector in the state is growing. And because Latinos are very much entrepreneurs and build a lot of small businesses.
How do you see the pandemic impacting some of those numbers, not just in the small business sector, but in the growth that we've seen, you know, in the last 10 years in some of the suburban communities? Have you been able to factor that in?
Well, one of the impacts, of course, of the pandemic is more people are realizing that they, you know, don't need to live, let's say, in the downtown areas, and are moving out. That's less of an issue for Latinos. For one thing, they've already been moving to the suburbs, but I think it's important to also look at Latino participation in the labor force. Because with COVID, for example, along with Black population, Latinos have been the hardest hit. And a big reason for that is our participation as essential workers in the labor force. We play a big role in the service industry, including food service and production, warehousing, manufacturing. So even over 50% of our labor force, for example, is just in manufacturing and service sectors alone. Yeah. So people are being exposed in the workplace, and then they're bringing that home to their families.
Yeah,
So
it's,
for them, not working at home really isn't much of an option. So over 70% of our Latino labor force cannot work from home. And that's part of why we need relief for families who are struggling financially and can't afford not to have people in the house working.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see in the coming year or two how many of these Latino communities are able to recover from COVID, not just medically, but obviously financially, and some of the impact that it's having on our small businesses. You've been studying sort of these trends for years and years and years, and I think the number one question that people would have right now, because we've seen just people in general leaving the city, leaving the downtown area. When we talked last, you said they will come back. Just relax. It's gonna, people will eventually trickle back, you know, because I think we're all on panic mode that downtown is gonna be hit long term because of all this.
Well, and I think the point that I made then is we have so much infrastructure built downtown that, and then downtown are such a vibrant part of any city or any region with a major metropolitan area that they would come back. The problem for Latinos is so many of our neighborhoods that are close to the central city are being gentrified. And so there's a lot of concern that people have, for example, on those cities that are closest, but you even look something like Logan Square, for example, Latinos are no longer the majority population in Logan Square. So the issue of gentrification is hitting Latino communities really hard. There's a lot of pressure, has been a lot of pressure, and continues to be on Pilsen, for example, but even increasingly, we're going to see it in Little Village, for example, and some of the other neighborhoods. So you see, for example, a lot of movement of Latinos up in the Belmont-Cragen area or down into the southwest part of the city.
And I know it's an issue that we've been exploring, I know, for decades now, is that issue of gentrification, and I'm sure will be explored in the years to come as well. I know we have to wrap it up, but I want you to talk just real quick, we got about 10 seconds, about the launch of the Suburban Report. When do you think that'll be coming out?
Well, we're going to wait for the new data. It's part of the Latino Research Initiative of Great Cities Institute. And we hope once that new data of the 2020 census comes in March, we'll be able to release that report.
Soon enough. Thank you so much, Teresa Cordova with the Great Cities Institute. Be well.